Hi there everyone, it's Anne Sinclair from Digestive Detective, and today's Thursday tip is about hot and cold contrast therapy. And yesterday I mentioned in one of my posts, I mentioned about this hot and cold therapy, and I had somebody ring me and say, well, what is it and what's it useful for? So it's really useful for swollen joints, rheumatoid arthritis, osteoarthritis, muscle injuries, muscle tightness, RSI. If you do the same job over and over and over on a joint and it's painful and swollen, it can be really useful for that. So it's been around for about 1,000 years, and it used to be used for curing the sick and helping wounds heal. So it's based on the premise that heat expands and the cold contracts. So when you are in the hot cycle, your blood vessels dilate and more nutrient-rich blood gets shoved around the body. But when you're in the cold cycle, your blood vessels constrict, so they drive the blood back to your core, and so bringing the nutrients more to your organs than to your limbs. So contrast therapy can be done over the entire body, so you can go from a hot tub to a cold pool, but if you're doing it for joints, you can just fill your sink with ice and get a heating pad or a hot water bottle. Probably hot water bottle's not so effective because it doesn't actually get hot enough, but a heating pad would be great. So great to do in the morning after you've been asleep all night, because it can shift any of the stagnation left over from the night, and it can get your joints moving. It's great before exercise, so it can get those muscles ready for the exercise, and it can increase your heart rate too, so that's really good. So contraindications, I wouldn't suggest anybody that has heart disease, high blood pressure or diabetes or kidney issues shouldn't use contrast therapy, because they have an inability to adapt to changing temperatures, and pregnant women should also not do it just because of the extreme changes in temperatures. So what do you need to do? You can go through the cycle 3 to 5 times. You should always end on the cold cycle because you'll want all the blood to be coming back to your core, and when you're finished you need to drink lots of water and stay hydrated. So each immersion that you do should last about 3 to 5 minutes, and you don't want to do any more than 15 minutes total of both. So what you do is you have your ice bath, so just fill up your sink with a bag of ice, and put your joint into it. If it's a hand or a wrist or something, put your hand in there. You could have a heating pad that you've heated to the right temperature, unplug it because it's near water, and have it there at the same heat. So you do your 3 minutes in there, and you take it out, dry it off, and then put it straight onto your hot. Or you can actually wait a minute in between and then put it onto your hot. So you don't need to stay very long. So you can do the ice bath for 1 minute of cold and then 2 minutes of hot. Then you can wait for a minute and then go back to the 1 minute of cold and 2 minutes of hot. But again, end on the hot. Look, I've seen pretty remarkable results for people with rheumatoid arthritis. It can really, really lower the inflammation. So if you know anybody that could benefit from this, it's worth doing. And it's easy, and it's really not that complicated to do. So give it a try and let me know how you go. I'll see you next week for Thursday's tip.